So I've just seen on Twitter that Amanda Spielman was doing the rounds today. I think she's doing a farewell little tour, you know, because of the fantastic duty she has done being head of Ofsted. And a little clip online I've just seen has gaslighted me beyond belief. This is from her little interview with Woman's Hour today. Have a listen to this.
Pretty bad the last year under your leadership, hasn't it, though, the response?
There was a very sad case in the spring which has been used as a pivot to try and discredit what we do. The quality of what we do and the quality of what we do underneath has been solid for years. We have really strong feedback on our inspection framework. We know post-COVID there was a very clear message from the sector that they wanted that they wanted to keep that framework, that it's as good as inspection has ever been. People are really positive about it. So somehow getting to a positive message about inspection in the sector is really, really important.
Are you talking about the death of the primary head teacher, Ruth Perry, when you talk
about... Yes, which I can't talk about specifically.
No, but if I can just remind our listeners, if you don't mind, the primary head teacher, Ruth Perry, died in January ahead of the release of a report that downgraded her school in Berkshire from outstanding to inadequate, from the top to the bottom of the scale.
I mean, she could not be more wrong, and she is wrong a lot. It is so disrespectful to say that the tragic news about Ruth Perry was a pivot used by many. No, it wasn't. What it was a realization that this can no longer continue. It was a realization that everyone needs to speak up about what damage Ofsted are doing to the profession. I mean, I'm genuinely bewildered as to where she gets this idea that the profession supports Ofsted. Anyone I speak to, and I speak to a lot of teachers, no one supports them. Even Ofsted inspectors that I've met don't support Ofsted. It's madness. I mean, the way she goes on about off the back of the pandemic, let's be honest, during the pandemic, Ofsted did absolutely nothing to support schools. And off the back of it, they are now just absolutely desperate to justify their own existence. Hence why they're bringing all these new aspects to the original inspection, this new inspection framework. It started off all right on the surface of things when they first brought it in. It looked up, but then again, Ofsted, to try and justify themselves, have just made things 10 times worse. And where they're getting this idea that we support them, because in the interview, an interviewer then says, well, we've got this questionnaire that says head teachers don't like what you're doing, don't feel it's valued. And she just dismisses it. Oh, no, we're just going to use the data we've got that says teachers like us, which is probably from teachers who are petrified to say anything else. Because every teacher I speak to can't stand Ofsted and blame Ofsted for why teaching is in the rut it's in. Now, it can't be blamed for everything. You know, budgets is out of their control. But you'll never convince me that Ofsted aren't to blame for the ever-increasing workload issues, which is one of the main reasons that retention is at an all-time low. It's direct, you know, because their new inspection framework now, not only have you got to be a teacher, you have to now be an expert in a subject. Most of us didn't study past GCSE, and to look like you are effectively leading that subject, you have to do progression documents, statements, policies, observations, learning walks, all this other stuff, which actually doesn't have much impact on teaching and learning, but so much of it is ticking boxes just in case you get a deep dive in an Ofsted inspection. Just listening to those clips, I am so angry at the flippant attitude to try and justify an inspectorate that no one in education supports and needs a complete overhaul. I know we need a level of accountability. This isn't a case of abolish Ofsted altogether or abolish an inspectorate, but you'll never convince me that Ofsted in its current form is a force for good. The only word that comes to mind is delusional.